What's going on, everybody? Welcome to G-Miles World Podcast, and today we're going to be kicking off Week 7 with the Arizona Cardinals and the Denver Broncos. Now, let's just be honest about it. The Arizona Cardinals are a very, very terrible team. They actually, in the most figuratively and literal way you can say it, suck. Okay, like I think more than likely they're going to get the #1 pick. Like I think they're a little bit worse than the Giants. I think the Giants suck, but they also have two star key players in OBJ and Saquon Barkley that can possibly do things. The Cardinals are just terrible. David Johnson, if you drafted him in fantasy, you don't have any hair left if you're a man or a woman. You've ripped it all out because that dude has been terrible. Now, you can blame the offensive coordinator in McCoy, but still, he's just not playing in the fashion that most of us thought that he would play. Even on a bad team, usually the running back can possibly do stuff to, help bolster your fantasy lineup and stuff like that. David Johnson is doing nothing at all. Okay, the dude is probably sitting on a waiver wire and nobody's going to pick him up. The dude sucks. All right, so let's go ahead and just start talk about some of the things that happened throughout the game. Early in the game, there was a pick six. All right, now tip passes are an issue. Do I think that Josh Rosen sucks? I do not. I think that kid has a very bright future. In fact, I think all the QBs that were drafted in this class have a bright future. It's just about what the team is willing to put around them. Now, when you have a guy like Von Miller vowing to destroy your life, like pretty much he said that. He said, listen, bro, we're going to go out there and just take care of business. He did not disappoint. You guys saw that there was a fumble that was overturned, and then right after that, he got another fumble. Let me just explain what was going on. The play calling was absolutely terrible. This is what's going to happen, right? Somebody has to get fired, but it's not. I don't think that it's fair to the coaching staff because the Cardinals are just really bad right now. But then again, my mind is saying, you know what? It's still the NFL. So they still have the opportunity to try to put the best players on the field. They have a training camp just like everybody else. They do everything just like everybody else. And I know that, sometimes you just don't have the players, but the team was not playing up to par. That's just my opinion. They just weren't playing up to par. For you to go out there and to get demolished 45-10, somebody has to be fired. Like, I don't know how to really justify it, but somebody definitely has to be fired. Okay? We could talk about offensively. Case Keenum played a lot. He played a lot better than he did the prior week. Pretty much Joseph, the head coach, he's about to get fired week to week. It's kind of sad, though, that people keep bringing that up. But then again, like I said, it hurts me to say this, but the NFL is like that. It's performance-based, right? So I think with the exception of a few coaches, obviously, Peterson that just won the Super Bowl last year, Bill Belichick, Mike Tomlin, I think some week to week that they got to watch him too because that guy's just doing whatever he wants. But I think that it should be like that with certain coaches, only certain coaches, because it gets everybody antsy and you can see if the team wants to perform for you, which we saw with the Denver Broncos. They wanted to perform for Joseph. They really wanted to play for him and show like, look, we can still win games. I like seeing stuff like that because in a league where it's full of so many babies and everybody is just always complaining and you got OBJ headbutting fans and it's just really wild. So to see the players come out like that and play, that's really huge, man, to watch that kind of stuff. But ultimately speaking, with the way the Broncos are set up, they can now make a push because it's still early in the season, week 7. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that can go, their way, and they can possibly be able to get some things done and ultimately make the playoffs. But that's pretty much what they're going to have to rely on. Offensively, their rookie running back, he had some, he broke up a big run. Certain things were going on. Case Keenum made some pretty accurate throws, but I don't really trust Case Keenum. I don't know if it's just me. Do you guys agree with me or you don't? Like, let me know what you think. I don't really trust him. And I don't know why I don't. I just don't. Because usually the guy he plays pretty decent. I just think that when it comes down to it, he's not that guy. Maybe he can show me something later. I don't know, guys. He just doesn't seem to be that dude. And that's what really concerns me a lot is that I just don't see that in him. And that's what looking at the Broncos defense, are they the same defense that they were with Talib and all the boys? No, they're not. But they still have a pretty solid defense. They can get to the passer. They have good run stopping. Derek Wolfe is a stud. Like, there's a lot of different things about the team that I like. But ultimately, it's a quarterback-driven league. Okay? So when you put Case Keenum up against a star QB, who are you taking? You know what I'm saying? Like, write it in the comment. You're not going to take Case Keenum. And it's not a knock on Case Keenum. He's He's an average quarterback. You know, that's what my issue is, because I try to gauge it and I look at it. Let's just say hypothetically, right? Say it was the playoffs tomorrow, and we've already been removed a week, and everybody got their time off, and it starts tomorrow, and this team had to face the Patriots. Defensively, do I think they can get to Tom Brady the same way they did like 3 years ago when Tom Brady was just getting smashed? I don't think so. But even with that, even if they were to intimidate Tom Brady a lot and they didn't get turnovers and score, because they had 2 defensive touchdowns last night. Let's say that they're not able to score defensively. Do you still think they can beat the Patriots? Because we have to start with the Patriots. Even though, Kansas City is, what they are, we still have to start with the Patriots because they took down the Chiefs. Regardless, no matter what happened in the game, we got to look at it along those lines. I don't think this team can beat the Patriots simply because I don't think offensively they would be able to beat the Patriots. And you got to be able to put up points against them. Because Tom Brady will give you a turnover here and there. Maybe Von Miller starts screaming up the edge, but it's not going to be the same exact thing. Like when you can't get pressure and a team has to be able to score. Because some games are going to go wild like they had earlier in the year. What are they, like 3-4 right now? Like some games are going to go along those lines. Can your offense put up points? That's what scares me about the Broncos. Okay? The Cardinals are a terrible team right now. They are very, very far removed from that Kurt Warner team. They suck. They absolutely suck. And you know what their biggest issue was? They started the season with Sam Bradford. And for that, I believe that coach should be fired. Because look, let me explain why. I understand he got his first victory like last week was a celebration. Everything was cool. But you make that decision. You saw something in training camp that said that you should put him out there instead of Josh Rosen. So who do we blame for that? Because if you're paying a head coach all that money and they're making decisions like Hugh Jackson and putting Tyrod Taylor out, you know what I'm saying? That's where I think the accountability comes in, because if you put in Josh Rosen from the beginning and you lose, it shows that you have guts, you have grit, you were able to make everybody knows what Sam Bradford is. You know what I'm saying? And then when you look at Josh Rosen right now, you might, oh, bro, he had a fumble, this and that, he threw picks, whatever. That was tip, by the way. But yeah, he did. Okay, he did all that. But he's still better than Sam Bradford is right now. Sam Bradford is the equivalent of a melted Snickers bar with doo-doo on it, because you can't really tell what it is. The dude sucks, okay? So I want to make sure that everybody understands that. You, as a head coach, this is the thing, right? As a head coach, you have to put your team in the best position to win. I don't think that he did that. So ultimately, I wouldn't care if he was fired, because that's the same thing with Hugh Jackson. Hugh Jackson cost the Browns the wins at the beginning. Let's just say hypothetically, the defense of the Cleveland Browns played exactly the same way, and Baker Mayfield was the quarterback. Even with Baker Mayfield struggling and throwing picks and doing all that stuff the prior week, right? He's still going to win those games with the same scenario. He's still going to win those games. And even if he doesn't win those games, it'll be a lot better than what Tyrod was doing. Because Tyrod Taylor, he's he's a guy that can get you through a couple games, but he's not like a premier QB. It is what it is, man. He's made his money. You can't feel bad for him. The guy's a great athlete. He's just not that guy. Look, sometimes you have to accept what these players are. And that's where we are right now with Case Keenum and the Broncos going forward. We have to accept what he's going to be. We have, like Kirk Cousins with the Vikings, we have to accept certain things that these players are going to bring. But they're not Aaron Rodgers. They're not Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, it's just not it. But going forward, the Cardinals are going to probably get the #1 pick, right? Josh Rosen, I expect him to be a decent QB in this league. I like the kid, man. You know what I'm saying? You guys can't tell me nothing different. I'm watching his progression. I'm seeing what he's doing. He's making mistakes. This is a veteran defense. I understand all that. It's growing pains, all that good stuff. But I'm not going to write Josh Rosen off yet. The rest of the team sucks. David Johnson sucks. He is terrible. The head coach sucks. The whole organization sucks, except for Josh Rosen at this point. That's the only guy I'm riding for right now. Okay? On the other side, like I said, the Broncos can make a push. So Bronco fans, rejoice. You know what I'm saying? Rejoice, because they can actually make a push. But I think that people are overlooking the fact that their quarterback is still Case Keenum. And you guys can argue and debate with me all day. I don't think he's that guy. That's just, even with the miraculous throw he did with the Vikings last year, I don't think he's that guy. I want to thank everybody for watching. Make sure you guys know you can also check me out live streaming daily. Spotify and iHeartRadio. I'm also available on iTunes and Android. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoy football this weekend because I know I will, and I'll see you back soon. One love.